Hi boys and girls, my YouTube friends and fans, generator people conversion. Alright, so this is like, excuse me, the start of day 2. Last night we put in a lot of hours, we did a lot of modifications to the generator to get the Venturi thing in the carburetor. I'm going to show you close up of what we are up to at this point and tell you what we're going to do today, and it shouldn't be as hard today. So here we go. Last night, this is the Venturi. It's a spacer that lets the natural gas or the propane into the carburetor so the engine could run. Here's the stock air box, okay, and that's the stock carburetor, and basically we got that extension in there, that Venturi in there. We had to cut the frame here and here, so we cut this out of the frame so that the air box would fit. So what we're going to do is use this, or at least the plan at this point is to use this half by square box, steel box tubing. Cut the size, of course, and we're going to like run it somewhere from this to the bottom. We're probably going to weld it with the MIG welder or something like that, and that will support, because there's actually a lot of flex. There's actually a lot of flex now in the frame that major support piece is missing. And we also extended some of the breather lines to the stock air box, and all of this stuff was included with the kit. This was another breather that didn't need to be extended, but they did include one extra little extender. If we had needed it, we could have put it in there. And they gave us extenders for like the bolts for the air box and stuff, but it was pretty straightforward in the fact that everything that I needed came in the kit, although the kit is a universal kit, so really the only instructions I had to work with are these 4 photographs with little annotations on them, and not too many annotations. For instance, this photograph has 2 annotations. This photograph has 3 annotations. This one has 2, this one has 2. You know, that's what they give you to work. That's basically the instructions, is these 4 photographs. Today, we're going to mount the regulator, which is basically takes the place of a carburetor float bowl. This does that job with gas. Some bolts, and they've given us this bracket that you can or not use. Choice is up to you. There's mounting holes here in the top, and there's also these bolts in the bottom, which correspond with the mounting plates. So basically, my idea for this, and I think it's a pretty good idea, because the bolt spacing looks the same as the bolts for this leg here. So I'm going to remove these bolts. I may have to drill out in the plate a little bit or elongate a hole or 2, but it looks like it's going to match. But anyway, I'm going to slip this in between the bottom of the frame and the top of the leg and put the bolts back in. Then this is going to be sitting here really nice in a perfect position to mount this regulator thing right here. Okay, so that's the plan. And then we'll do the associated tubing and stuff like that. We'll install the supply elbows and inlets and stuff. And basically, it's going to be done at that point. You know, except for bracing the frame. Re-bracing the frame, because we had to cut it. Now I've taken some weight off of it with the come along that is attached to a joist in the ceiling. Drop. I've just supported it up like an inch with this scissor jack. So bolt washer and taking the scissor jack out. Now it's important that that it gets mounted up. As you can see, it's actually embossed in that, and they also want it like straight vertical, which is why the positioning of this bracket is perfect the way it is. Although this is a universal bracket, we could have drilled holes and mounted, and there's a million different ways you could do it. Depending, you know, could have spot welded it or whatever. But this just looked like a perfect spot for it, and the bolts pretty much lined up with everything. So we're doing good with that. So I have a little leeway if we, let's put it back as far as we can. And you also want access to the back, because that spring button back there is to like when you first hook up the line, there's going to be air in there and stuff, and that's how you prime the gas through there. So it's the prime button is in the back here, so you want access to that. And the Venturi, this one is already tightened and sealed with the sealant, the PTFE sealant. This one here, we have to put the PTF sealant or Teflon tape, whatever, but we have to thread this in nice and tight, and this is going to hook to this. So I probably want to end it up like this, and we're going to put a length of the flexible tubing in there. Let's see how that's going to, oh, that would be just fine. So yes, I want to orient it facing that. We got a good application, and I've mushed it down in the valleys of the threads evenly around, okay? Depending on where you had to mount your thing, this whatever this is, this regulator. They recommend to keep it under 12, saying the shorter the better. You get better throttle response and stuff. Now we're going to get a wrench, and I'm holding this because it's only attached with those two nuts underneath, so I don't want to put too much stress on it. And I'm turning this fitting with the wrench. It's getting, as the more I turn it, the harder it's getting, and I want to go one more turn. Oh, look at that. It's like nice. Okay. I want that way. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. this is what we up to at this point. We got all the fittings and the valve on and the nipple that the hose attaches to with the hose clamp. And the only thing I got left to do is fabricate some kind of support for where I cut the frame apart to make room for the air box to get back on there. Well, I don't think it's like super important to show you guys every minute detail of making this frame brace to strengthen the frame after I cut that piece out for the air cleaner, because every generator and every application is going to be different. So I've showed you, you know, cutting it out and stuff, and I'm going to just do it and show you when it's done how I did it. But you know, as far as each and every step, because everything's going to be different, there's no reason to show you that in my opinion. All right. So all right, so here's the I MIG'd it, right, and I just finished touching up the paint. I actually painted the black first, but then I just sanded the ends and just little spots underneath to weld it, because I knew I'd never be able to paint in here without messing everything up if I didn't pre-paint it. So actually I just touched up the ends just now with the spray paint. Okay, but there's our replacement frame brace to give it strength, because we had to take that piece out to make the stock air cleaner fit with the Venturi for the natural gas or propane, whichever kit you have. Alright, so there it is, it's all done. Hey, what's up? So I did a couple of little mods I want to show you guys. First thing I did is I got a 1/2 inch quick connect flexible supply line. This was like 150 bucks, something like that, at the super duper plumbing supply, but also a super duper like barbecue place would have it, or you can get it on the internet. And this we're gonna tee into the guy's house barbecue. Alright, but anyway, so I got it here. It's 1/2 inch. It has to be 1/2 inch. Most barbecue lines are 3/8. It has to be 1/2 inch to carry the volume of gas that this thing's going to need to run. I made this a little longer, and I looped it because of the motor moves in vibration and load, and I had that short little stub line before. If you remember, I didn't like that whole situation there. Also, my welded in frame support, I took the airbox off and I whacked it a couple of times with the hammer to give a little clearance here. Okay, so I got about a 3/8 clearance here because it was rubbing on the hose. I also changed the angle on this fitting here by just screwing it in a little better, also to give clearance. Not screwing it in better, but just turning it in its threads to point at a different angle to give a little clearance over here. I took the airbox off, and I took that thick metal gasket that comes with the Honda. The paper gasket came with the kit. I reversed the positions of them because the metal Honda gasket, it has a little notch for an air passageway that controls the whole automatic throttle thing on this particular generator. I don't think most generators have this, but this is a Honda, so it has this electronic automatic throttle thing, and there's a little like air passage for vacuum, and it's very important. The paper gasket was blocking it, so I took the airbox off and I just switched, and I put the Honda metal, it's like a metal gasket, behind the airbox, and I put the paper gasket in front of the Venturi. So the metal Honda gasket behind the Venturi and the paper kit gasket in front of the Venturi for the airbox. I also had to drill out the holes for those in the metal gasket for those extenders that they gave us. Remember how I had to grind the extenders down to make clearance for the Venturi? So I also had to drill out the metal Honda gasket to make, but that was very simple. I used, what the hell did I use? I used the 5/16. Carefully, I mounted it in a vise. in between a couple of pieces of scrap rubber so the vise wouldn't mess up, because it's a metal gasket, but it also has a little rubber bead around it. But if you did mess up the bead, you could use some silicone gasket sealer. Alright, so this thing is still on gasoline right now. We're going to kick it over. The circuit breaker is off, but I have 3,000 watts here we're going to put on it. We're going to kick it. It's on gasoline now. There's very little bit of gasoline in it. I want to kind of burn it out of the tank because I know the guy's never going to use this thing, and I don't want that gas getting rotten and varnishing up his carburetor and stuff. And also I want to test it to make sure that everything's okay. So circuit breaker off. I'm going to kick it over. And then as soon as it comes up to speed, I'll put the circuit breaker on to draw load. Okay? So that's that. So I hope you enjoyed my little review modification of this Century Fuel Products propane / natural gas conversion kit video. And I would rate this like as a difficult project. If anybody wants to get involved in this, it's the Century Fuel Products SEK4-A small engine low pressure liquid propane natural gas kit. And I would definitely rate it difficult on a project scale. But the kit was good. Everything that I needed was in the kit. I mean, I didn't have to like run and get anything. Everything was in the kit. And I actually have extra, I actually have 2 cable ties left over, extra, you know, so, so that's that. I'm going to take it, you know, you saw, I got it on this come along here to the ceiling, but we're going to jack it up 1 inch or 2. We're going to take the table out, we're going to lower it down. I'm going to put these ramps in the back of my truck. I got the ramps. We're going to put the ramps, and I'm going to roll it up into the truck and deliver it and collect. So, rate my video. Now it's over. Rate the video, please, because that really helps me out with this YouTube thing. You guys know I'm a paid YouTube. I'm a full partner with YouTube. And all of this interaction that you do at this point with YouTube really helps me out. As far as rating or comments, and the comment box is there for you to ask any questions. Okay, I'm always on top of my inbox, and I'll try to help you out. So ask any questions or any suggestions or comments, put them in a box, because other people are going to be reading and watching this video. And if you've done this conversion or anything, or you had any comments to make it easier, better, whatever, // leave it in the comment box, and subscribe to my handyman zone while you're here, because that really helps me out. And again, this kit is for like whatever kind of generator. I mean, it's like a universal kit. So although this was a, you know, a Honda whatever EM65, a Honda EM6500 generator, this kit, this Century Fuel Products kit, is just for whatever generator. So they're all different. And, you know, what can I tell you? You're on your own as far as figuring out, you know, most of the stuff, but I'm just giving you a heads up on what's involved by making this video.